Live from the Neverland Theatre, your host, Gary Starr. Hello, a very good evening. Welcome back to StageToStream.tv, live here from the Neverland Theatre in the heart of Skeg, Vegas. Yes, we're finally back. Did you miss us yesterday? I know, I do apologise. We were stuck in traffic, but we got back and it was too late. But nevertheless, we're here now for our final end of season show, the end of season 1, which technically makes it show 49, which is a shame because we were going to do 50, but there you go. Show 49, the last one. Once again, before we start, what we need you to do is, of course, share this stream with your friends or enemies or frenemies, whatever you want to do. And of course, make sure you get interactive in the chat, giving us some love, some thumbs up and such like. Wherever you are in the world, welcome. This is Stage to Stream, the final episode of season 1. Let's find out what's on tonight. Live tonight on Stage to Stream, the fabulous Eric POTTS. Plus, top banter with Gary Starr and Right Hand Ruthie. It's all happening tonight, right here on... Yes, indeed, the fabulous Eric POTTS, who was in Coronation Street, and many other things as well. We're going to be chatting to him very shortly indeed. Very exciting, and a nice way to round off season 1 of Stage to Stream. It's been a roller coaster of a ride, I think you'll agree. We've spoke to many wonderful people, and without this medium we would never have spoken to them. So that's the one great thing that's come out of this. And of course, bringing all of you together to come and join us each and every evening in this wonderful world we call chat. So I hope you've enjoyed season 1. Season 2 will be brimming with new things. We're not going to have guests every night in season 2. We're going to be doing other things as well. Strange things, weird things, but it's all going to happen here on Stage to Stream for season 2, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks with that. But I've rambled enough. We need other ramblings this evening. You know what we're waiting for. It's Right Hand Ruthie.
Right hand Ruthie, right hand Ruthie.
Right Hand Ruthie. Yeah. Hello, Ruthie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm alright.
Are you glad to be back?
Yes.
You were devastated, weren't you?
I was really angry
I know.
for a good minute.
Yeah, I know.
Then I just got sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was a bit upset about that.
I know. You were ranting in the van that you wanted to get back, and maybe we should just do the last 10 minutes. And I was like, no, we're not doing it. It's not happening. So we didn't do it. But we did miss it. We missed it almost as much as nobody missed us. But we're back now, and that's exciting. We're here for the final evening of season 1. For more of your ramblings and mine, and of course our fabulous guests. So what have you been up to today? Anything exciting?
Today,
I know you have.
Yes, well we have been, haven't we? We've been rehearsing The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, ready for our tour.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so day 1 of rehearsals. It's been very good.
Yes, I felt like it was a medical lab this morning, because obviously I was there all rubbered up with my gloves and my mask, and we were testing everybody so we could all work together happily in this wonderful theatre. That was fun, and we've had a good day of rehearsals, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been good. Should point out COVID testing, not like IQ testing or
you don't need an IQ to work here. No. Obviously.
Wow.
You know what it's time for, don't you? It's time to
Let's get social.
It doesn't work.
Well, it will do. I'll find it for season 2. Then,
Yes,
then when we have season 2, you'll have a ding, and that'll be the new introduction
Just
to.
make me so happy.
Yeah, I know. So, So let's get social. What do they need to do this evening?
Well, it's really simple. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you are watching, I want you to stop and head on over to the Facebook page, StageToStream.tv. Log in. Give us a little like and a share, because that's nice. It's nice to be friendly. And then hop into the chat and say hi, because I've missed you all. Missed you all yesterday. I was wondering what you were all up to be honest. And started making up little scenarios in my head, and then thought probably should just stop. Anyway, so do that. Also, you can use the chat later on to send messages in for our special guest, which is Mr. Eric POTTS.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Alternatively, I've got my wonderful telephone. It's equipped with all the latest apps, and if you use WhatsApp, then you can send me a message on there as well. Here is the number.
07510, followed by 891, then 005. Let's get social.
What was that number again?
That's 07510,
Of course.
followed by 891, then 005.
There you go.
Smashed it.
You did.
Thank you.
There you go. Good, well done. So if you want to get social this evening, and then that's what you need to do. Now, of course, the chat is brimming already with some regulars and some not so regulars. Let's go and find out who's in the chat.
Excellent. Well, we've got lots of you here. It's nice to see you all. We're going to start at the top. Why not? We've got Beverly Charles. Hi, Beverly. Beverly saw my shoes, my Kermit the Frog shoes, and she's going to buy some.
Excellent.
Hi. Paul Dixon's here. Hi, Paul. Harry Stedman's in the chat. Here he is. He's got some cracking jokes. Can't find them all. They've gone. If I find one when I'm scrolling past, I'll read it out. Let's have a look. Who else have we got? Leanne Unsworth's here. We've got Mr. Burton. Hi, David. He's here. I can't see who else. Literally can't see anyone else.
Steve Andrews is here.
Steve
He
Andrews.
commented earlier.
Yes, Steve Andrews is here. And I'm sorry if I've missed anyone.
You have. Ross Gunning's here.
Where?
He's here. He said, nice you know the number now, Ruthie. And he went, can't believe it's the last show and I'm on it. There you go. And also Nicole May Harrington is here.
Hello.
Robert Wilson Baker, he's here. Good evening to all of you, wherever you are out there in the world. Hope you're well and staying safe and such like. Welcome to Stage to Stream for our final show. Yes, of this season. We'll be back in a few weeks. So it's all happening. Yeah.
I'm glad you picked up on those names.
Yeah.
I've had a bit of a problem today.
You have.
I am contactless.
Now, when you say contactless, what do you mean, Ruth?
I don't mean I'm not a credit card. I can't pay for things by tapping things. I don't have my contact lenses in.
No. Because?
So, I might be overdue an eye test. Quite severely, apparently. Like, definitely over a year. And the problem is, I had loads of contact lenses left over because I don't wear them regularly all the time. Like, just mainly for shows. That's it. Or for this, which is also a show. So I wear them for shows. And I've been wondering for a while now why my eyes keep stinging. Terrible banging headache as well, like afterwards. And today I thought, because I knew I had just enough for the Wizard of Oz shows that we've got coming this week, and I thought, right, I'll get some on Friday, which is coming up. However, they won't give me any more because I'm overdue an eye test and a contact lens test. And I was like, but I really need them. And it turns out the ones that I've got left are all out of date. Didn't know that. But it would explain why my eyes get really itchy and, well,
Yeah.
hot eyeballs. Have you ever had hot eyeballs? It's really uncomfortable. And quite headachy. Anyway, just out of curiosity, has anyone out there ever worn out-of-date contact lenses?
Maybe there's an optometrist out there.
There might be. I literally need like a pack just to get through the week, and then that'll be fine. But I've been wearing them out of date for quite some time now. Apparently, they went out of date in February. So I would just continue using it because I can't go out on the stage. I'll literally fall off it. I mean, this is hard enough trying to find the camera. You know what I mean?
Listen,
So-
tell them it's an emergency tomorrow. Go in and tell them it's an emergency. You cannot see and do your job without them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Ruth's fun story of the day.
Well, it's not a fun story.
Shh, you've ruined the moment.
Oh.
You see what I did? I ran it to time, and you just had to run in and yabber over it.
Oh. Anyway, so my question to you out there is, I mean, is there any eye doctors out there? I mean, like I say, the damage has already been done, right? Because I've been wearing them out of date, and they're not punctured or anything. They're still in their little things. It's just that I did open a pack today, and I looked at it, and I was like, well, does that look a bit yellow? It was a bit weird. But you know what the really annoying thing is the expiry date. I know it's on the box, but I mean, who reads the box? It's on the packet. You get the little packet. They're tiny. They're like this big, really
Which you
small
can't see.
packets. But you haven't got your glasses on when you open them, and then you throw that bit away, and that's what it's written on. So new invention is needed.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, that's that.
Yeah. So everyone's saying, don't risk it. I said the same. Go in, tell them it's an emergency. You are driving on Monday, and your glasses are damaged, and you need new ones.
Harry 7 wants to know, does Gary have a secret in his pants for hot eyeballs?
No secret of hot balls, and no. Not
See,
in my
that
pants.
sounds incredibly strange if you didn't tune into, when was the show? Tuesday?
Mm,
It might have been Tuesday.
which is a good possibility. Yeah.
There was a thing that happened. We were keeping secrets.
Yeah.
And Gary was like, "Oh, I'll keep them in my pants." For
Yeah.
no reason,
There you
just
go.
for comedy value, really.
So there you go. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Ruth.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah, leave it there. Don't even carry on with it anymore.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yvette Pepper, yes, I wore out of date ones beginning of lockdown. One, hot eyeballs. Don't risk it. Oh, it's getting.
Thanks very much.
Anyway, now listen.
Mm.
We've had an update on Hermes.
Oh, go on then.
We've got parts 3 and 4 to fill, Gary.
Well, you're not having long.
Okay. Right, Hermes Saga. For those of you that haven't been with us this week, there's been a small issue with Hermes. And I'll be honest with you, it's not ended well. I ordered something to be delivered by Hermes on Tuesday. I got an email saying, your parcel is with us and we will deliver it today between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. I was like, cracking, great, because I'd paid for next day delivery and it's going to be there on time. I guess the 10:01 I get an email from Hermes saying, we're sorry we missed you, you were out. No, I wasn't, the door was unlocked. And I've got CCTV cameras on the front so I could play back and check and nobody tried to turn up. Anyway, I thought, well, that's all right because you have 3 attempts at delivery. They'll obviously deliver it tomorrow. They must just be busy. Same thing happened on the second day. And I was like, oh no, what we're going to do? Because I knew I wasn't going to be in on Thursday. So I attached a note to the front door which said, hello, Mr. Delivery Driver. Not in today. However, you can put the parcel through the letterbox. It's quite a big letterbox. I knew it was only a small parcel. Or if you wouldn't mind leaving it over the road with our friend at the upholsterers, that would also be nice. So they turned up. And they said, took a picture of the note on the front door and said they'd left it there. Bit strange. Anyway, turns out they had left it at the upholsterers. I was like, hooray! Finally got it today. This is now part 4. Opened it. They've sent the wrong thing. So I've waited all that time, and it's the wrong thing they've sent in the package.
You know what that is, don't you?
It's Ruth's fun fact of the day.
Tell us about it, Ruthie.
Well, I'm just saying, it's been a bit of a saga with a very anticlimactic ending, like most of my stories.
There you go. Story of my life.
Terrible.
Rambling Ruthie, says Paul Dixon. Hope you're well, my friend. It's nice to see you out there. Yvette Pepper's laughing at something and then said, what an interesting story.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what they're all laughing at, but there you go.
I don't know, I can't see. You tell me. Can
Could
you see the order to correct? Can you see? Could you wait? Get me closer. Could you see to order the correct thing? Yes, I could at the time. Just can't now. Beverly Charles, don't rely on postal contacts then via Hermes. Correct. That would be just a nightmare waiting to happen, wouldn't it?
Dear.
Actual Gary emojis. Len Hansworth has gone through the entire emoji directory. Will you put in faces again? I've noticed you do this when it's my stories.
What faces? No.
I've watched the playback, Gary, and I have seen
No.
some of your faces.
No faces at all. I was just listening intently to your wonderful story.
So when we were in the van yesterday, going to, where do we go?
Doncaster.
Doncaster, thank you. You had a little story. It's an old story. I've heard it before. And whilst you were telling this story, do you know what I thought?
Go
I
on.
thought, oh, why don't you tell that story? And then you can have a Gary story time on stage to stream. And you laughed and scoffed at me.
Mine was a good story though.
Was it though?
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Music.
Do you want my fun story?
Well, let's
Okay.
ask the chat, shall we? Who out there would like to hear a Gary story? Now, I'll warn you, it's not for the faint-hearted.
You were all laughing the other day in the van.
See, I've heard this story numerous times before.
It is funny.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay, brace yourself
Music.
for Gary's good story. This is a good one. Okay, so this was probably about 10 years ago. I was directing a show, and the person that was playing one of the characters, Captain Hook, was ill on the first day of the tour. So at about 4 a.m. in the morning, after directing the show and it going out on tour, they phoned me and went, he's ill. He's at a dodgy Chinese. He can't do it. Now, in the meantime, I was also very ill, but I'd got through it, done my job, and they were out on tour. Now, I was really ill, got a, bad stomach, flu, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they came and picked me up at 5 a.m. in the morning, drove me to the first show, which was a primary school. So, in I rush, desperate for the toilet. Really, when it's really desperate, like urgency. So I left the company manager to go in and talk to the head teacher, which is, in the room adjacent to the toilet. Just a short corridor walk. Ran in, sat down, did the business. Was not pleasant. However, upon looking up, realised that I'd gone into the small toilets. The door hadn't swung shut on the entrance, and the door on the cubicle was a little barn door in the middle, and I could just see my manager from the school hall looking over and seeing me, and I had to raise my feet up and duck my head down. But of course there was a bit of a nasty sniff as well, which could be smelt from the other end of the thing. So that was horrific. Managed to escape, get out, walk in as if nothing had ever happened, but of course we all knew that deep down something had. And that, my friends, is how you tell a story in time to music. Off the cuff. Yes. Did you like that, Ruth? You see, you can try that sort of stuff, but that is a good story. There you go. So anyway, there you go. That was, that was my interesting story.
You said a nasty nip.
I said a nasty niff.
Nasty nip.
Yeah, there probably was. It was a bit whiffy. A nasty niff.
Nasty nip.
But as you can imagine, me on a very small toilet did not bode well. I destroyed it.
Well.
There you go.
Okay, so let's just check the chat after Star's story.
Yeah, there you go.
Harry Sedman, that story was absolute poo.
Yeah.
Leon Unsworth,
Brilliant.
same thing, stepped it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a bit Aaron Kelly, as Captain Hook, I hope you used the correct hand to, who else have we got? Oh, Laura's here.
Laura's here.
Laura.
You just pop
Laura.
up on the last one, just as I'm telling an interesting story,
Oh,
I see.
That's not quite right. She said some would say it was a story.
Brilliant.
Very good.
There you go.
Nasty Nick in Big Brother.
That was Naughty Nick, I think. I don't know. There you go, you see. So it's all happening here. That was my fun story, which was much better than yours.
I mean, was it though?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was. Yours was about a lost delivery. Mine was public humiliation.
Mine was a saga.
Yeah, it was a saga. Yeah.
So was yours.
It was a saga. It went on for ages.
Funny.
Yeah. Hi, Laura. Hope you're well. Hope life treats you well.
Mm.
Nice to see you here. Welcome, Stage to Stream. Joining us just as we're finishing. It's the last show.
Now, lots of people have been saying that they're feeling, they're not sure what they're going to be doing with themselves.
I know.
For 2 weeks.
Me neither. Well, I do. I'm going to be redoing the show, getting it ready for season 2. That's what I'm going to be doing. You're going to be out on tour.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. But, if you really want to relive all these nightmares, you can just go back. You've got 49 episodes to rewatch.
It's true, in fairness.
That's
You could go back to the
49
beginning.
hours of viewing.
That's not bad, is it?
49 hours of
49
this
hours
nonsense.
for free.
Why are you
That's
all
good.
still here? All lost their minds, Gary.
It's good though, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check the top fans at the end of season 1.
Go for it.
See where we are. Right, Steve Andrews is at the top.
Da, 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 da.
have
Well done,
Aaron.
Steve.
Well done.
You're rounding off the final one then. This, my friend, is your prize for being top fan. That's That's what it sounded like as well in that toilet cubicle. And again, got it. Steve Andrews is #1 top fan. Thanks, Ruthie. That's been a pleasure. We're going to come back to you in a bit because it's almost time for our first guest.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but we're going to go and we're going to show him in action, first of all, in a little bit of panto. So a bit of panto fun for you all out there before we welcome on the fabulous Eric Potts live on the show. Don't go anywhere.
Where have you been?
I was in the wings waiting to come on and I was chatted up by one of the dancers, Mum.
You were in chatted up?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you.
Me.
Hey,
Aye.
you. Me. What's her name?
David.
Dave. Will you stop that nonsense?
What?
We've got to start baking for our long voyage. I'm going to make one of me world famous sausage pies.
These pies are brilliant.
Good, you can come and help me.
Oh, do I have to, Mum?
Yes, you do.
Mamma mia.
Here we go again.
My.
How can you resist me?
It's like living in a fluffy musical.
Now, the first thing we need is some dough.
Money.
Not that kind of dough.
An abba too far.
Now, get me a little flour.
A little flour.
Yes.
A little flour. A little flour.
Oh, not that kind of flour, love.
No.
Oh, self-raising flour.
Right. This is not just thrown together. This is brilliant.
Oh, right, you see them eggs?
Yes.
Separate them.
What?
Separate them.
Right. I've been seeing other eggs. I hate you. Don't leave me too late.
But, oh, John. Honestly. That's not right.
No.
No.
Forgive me. I love you. Back together.
I will never get this pie made with you around. Go and get me sausages.
Get some flipping sausages.
Now, where's that pie crust I made earlier?
I got the sausages, man.
Oh, good. Are they fresh?
Are they fresh?
Oh,
Yeah, they are a bit perky.
never mind, love. I've got some sausages already here in the baking
How
tray.
convenient.
Now, we place the pastry on top of the sausages.
That's a good idea.
We place the pastry on top of the sausages.
Hooray, here we go. No!
Hold it down, Jack. Hold it down.
Do I have to?
Yes. Come on, love. Now, we place the pastry on top of the sausages.
Hello.
Oh, I've had enough of this. Jack, go and get the rolling pin.
Rolling pin, where would I get a rolling pin? Never mind, this'll do.
Yeah.
Rolling pin in my possession.
Now, when I nod my head, you're way ahead of us, you know. When I nod my head, you hit it.
This is what you paid your money for! Come on! Pardon?
When I nod my head, you hit it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you!
Oh. What'd you do that for?
You said when I nod my head in it, I flipping hit it.
Not me head, you numpty, ate the sausage.
Nothing personal. Oh, it bounced!
Now, we put the pastry on top of the sausages.
About time, Jill. I know!
Right, this means war.
Think of the consequences, Mother.
Go on, sausage. Make my day.
Oh! He dying? He might pull through. No, he won't. Mother, how could you do that to a defenseless sausage? A sausage that has never done you any harm, a sausage. That is a fine, upstanding member of the sausage community.
That's the problem. He was upstanding right in the middle of my lovely pie. Now, where's that other troublemaker? About time. Come on, love, let's get it in the oven. Open the door, will you?
Open the door, okay. Too hot, too hot, too hot. That's better.
Yeah, good. You know, we wasted so much time, I'm going to turn it right up to super heat.
Super heat? Are you sure that's wise, Mum?
Oh, it'll be fine.
What do we do with these spare bits of pastry?
Spare bits.
Who
Get your back, Jack. Let's have some fun.
does retain the ashes?
Who needs the ashes?
Come on! Who wants that there? Biggie! Royal balls! Right there! Careful! What's that?
There we are.
Back there! Up to there! There's a biggie! I got that one! Last one! Oh!
Now, to be fair, love, you should have had your mouth shut.
Really?
Now, come on.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to Stage to Stream the fabulous Eric Potts. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi, Gary. How are you, mate?
Absolutely wonderful. And how wonderful to see that such an amazing act with the both of you there. Wonderful. Yeah, keeping a Panto tradition alive, which we'll talk about in a little while as well. But first of all, thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on here.
A real pleasure to be with you, and well done you for getting this up and running. It's great.
Thank you, thank you. Now listen, we're going to find out all about your life and everything. So let's start with you. Tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us about, because you've done so much. If you could try and fit that down into about 10 minutes, that'd be wonderful.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a strange thing with my accent. Not many people realise I'm Scottish born and bred. I was brought up on the west coast of Scotland. And was all set to go and study law at Glasgow University. I had a great drama teacher at my secondary school up in Ayrshire. And I was all set to go. I had the place at university. I had, here's a word you don't hear very often, the grant in place. And I thought I'm going to spend the rest of my life saying what if, because I had always been very keen to be involved at both school and local amateur shows. So they put the place on hold for a year. I auditioned for a few colleges and got into the wonderful Bristol Theatre School, and that was it. Look, no, this is what I'm going to do. Very fortunate to get an agent out of college. Had a wonderful 3 years in Bristol. Absolutely loved the college and the city. My youngest daughter subsequently studied at the university there. It was great to go back, and that clip was filmed at the Bristol Hippodrome a few years ago. So yeah, very lucky. Kept relatively busy as a young actor. Ended up doing an awful lot of work over the years at the fabulous Coliseum Theatre in Oldham, which is still thriving, or it will be once we're all allowed to be back into it.
Yeah.
And various rep jobs around the country, a couple of big tours, lovely tours. I did a lot of work in the early years working for David Wood, a fantastic children's playwright, originally with his Whirligig Theatre Company, and then subsequently on the adaptations he did of the Roald Dahl shows, the Witches, those kinds of big national tours. Nice little bits and bobs of television, and then got into radio drama and all sorts of other stuff. And then through that, of course, I think a lot of us find that having performed for many years, we think we've got some God-given right to start directing and also and writing as well. So I sort of managed to spread off into those areas as well, which is lovely because I was able to kind of maintain all three aspects of the genre, which was lovely coming and going between all three. And since then, I've gone into production, producing shows with a couple of colleagues as well. So yeah, lots of fingers in lots of pies, and then I normally just eat the pies. So yeah.
Amazing. Let's touch briefly on the TV, because I was just glancing over some of your credits. Some of the, well, I mean, for a start, in Emmerdale, you were in Heartbeat, Lass of Summer Wine. I'm excited the fact you were in Doctor Who.
Yes, I was in the Christopher Eccleston series. So the first series back, my character was called Oliver Charles, who was a staffer at number 10, and he subsequently proved to be a Slovene They wanted three fat actors basically that looked as if they could have a slit hidden inside them, and I was one of them and got to unzip my forehead and release the beast within me. But it was great. I mean, I'd grown up with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
John Pertwee was my Doctor. So that was a real treat to be part of. And then I'd worked not long before that. I'd worked with Colin Baker in a panto, and he got me into the going around the circuit of conventions
Yeah.
and things, and that was another experience. But it was great fun, and so many people passionate about this, iconic program.
Yeah, and especially as you say, if you grew up with it, and then to suddenly be able to, to be in it, it must be absolutely amazing.
It was a real honour, and it was so exciting because they were bringing it back. They were throwing loads of cash at it. Not at me, sadly, but at the program. I had gone through college, Bristol, and shared digs with Sean Pertwee. And of course, his father was John and had been my Doctor Who that I'd grown up with. At that time, he was more famous for being Wurzel Gummidge, of course, contemporary wise. But it was great. Very occasionally, he came down to spend a bit of time with Sean, and we'd go out for a drink and something, sort of pinch yourself to sitting at the same table as the Doctor. But that's the Doctor Who I did. Stop me if I'm waffling on.
No, not at all. It's great.
I got the call about because it was with a director that I'd worked previously on one of the others. I can't remember. Keith Boat, a really very very good television director, and he thought of me, offered me the job, which was lovely. And I was just about to go on a fortnight's holiday to Florida with my family. First time we'd been to Florida. So we came back, and my agent had contacted me when I was out saying, you need to, when you fly in to Manchester, you need to go straight to London to get this latex face mask made that you get ripped off in the episode. So one of those horrible overnight flights back from America. I said bye-bye to my wife and my daughters at Manchester Airport. I jumped on a train to London, went out to Acton, I think it was somewhere, and I had to sit there for 3 hours with 2 straws shoved up my nose, covered in latex, to make this face mask. And I was so jet lagged. It was one of the most horrible experiences I think I've gone through. I almost thought, I don't know if I can do if I can do. I think it would be anything apart from Doctor Who, I might have said.
Yeah, I think every actor that's ever been through that has said the same thing. It's one of the most horrific things to have done, because it's obviously so claustrophobic, isn't it, having it completely encased?
It really is. I'm sure at one point I felt one of the straws slipping further and further down my nose. I didn't want to shove it back up in case I destroyed the mask and had to start again. But I'm not going to breathe, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
But it was worthwhile at the end of it for that end result, which is wonderful. Of all the TV stuff you've done, what would you say is your favourite? Because I mean, you've done so much. So where did your sort of heart, really sit with of all the stuff you've done?
I mean, I have been so lucky. Being in Summer Wine, I was only in 3 episodes of Last of Summer Wine, but again, it was such an iconic show. That was lovely. But I think I'd have to say Coronation Street. I played Diggory Compton for a couple of years.
Which is the best name ever, can I just say? Diggory Compton is a genius name.
Fantastic. I remember when I first phoned up and offered me it, or I got the offer through, and that I was in the middle of a show at the Coliseum Theatre. I think it was Panto, I can't remember. Anyway, I quickly jotted down the details, and they said this name, and I thought, write something down. And then I phoned my wife and said, I've got this offer for Coronation Street. Oh, fantastic. What's the character? I said, I can't quite remember. I said, I think it's something like Clibbery Mortimer, which I think is a town in the Cotswolds, to be honest. Clibbery Mortimer. But yeah, he was great. And it was, you never lost that buzz walking down the cobbles to where my shop was. But he was, I've said this before to others, he was my 5th character in Coronation Street.
Really?
The other 4 just being for one episode.
Yeah.
I was Beck Gilroy's solicitor, Jack Duckworth's orthopedic consultant. I was a counsel official. I can't remember. Jim McDonald's court, clerk of court or something. So yeah, Diggory was my fifth character. I played two different characters in Emmerdale so far. So they bring you back after a decent gap. They were all like 4 or 5 years in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, Diggory was for a couple of years, and it was really great.
Yeah, and did you grow up watching Coronation Street? So was it again something that you went, you'd sort of grown up on it, and it was like, right, I'm finally here now, doing this side of it?
Strangely enough, no. It was a funny thing. I was talking to my youngest daughter about this just last week. When we were growing up in Scotland, we certainly weren't posh.
Yeah.
But we, as kids, we were not allowed to watch ITV. It was only BBC One and BBC Two. And I don't quite know why that was, but it was very much looked down upon, was the commercial channels. So once I think I started watching it a few years before I went in as Diggory, so I knew who everyone was. And of course, even if you don't watch it, you kind of know who a lot of, certainly in that time, those kind of iconic characters were. So it still had a real incredible buzz to going in, and everyone was so lovely. They'd come up to you, they'd go, "Hello, I'm whoever," and you go, "Yeah, I know who you are. You don't know who I am." They were so welcoming, and it was a really great experience. It's such a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Both on both sides of the camera, that it was great to be part of.
I love the fact, because obviously people of a certain age won't get this at all. But when you go, we weren't allowed to watch number 3, which meant you were actually left with 2 channels. And even they finished at 12 o'clock at night, didn't they? Midnight, wasn't it? BBC One, I think that was it. And then it went off for the night.
Yes, with the anthem, the national anthem.
Absolutely.
And you could stand up to change over the channels.
Yeah. Because I'm of that age as well. When I was younger, obviously, we were the same. 3 channels, and then when Channel 4 came along, 4 channels, but 4 was a bit edgy. Do you know what I mean? You can't imagine it now because there are thousands of channels and you can watch anything at any point. It just, the mind boggles just how much it's sort of changed over time.
Totally. It's become a totally different force, really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And in many ways, I don't know, I think it's contentious argument, but I think in many ways it's almost weakened its influence because it is there. I can still remember the excitement about finding out what the Christmas Day film was going to be.
Yeah.
That was important. That was significant. Oh, it's the Great Escape, or for the first time, or whatever. It mattered. And of course, the viewing figures, because you're such a small channel, were colossal. You think the numbers that Morecambe and Wise used to get, and news specials and things. And of course, now with it being so dissipated, you can say watch anything anytime. I think it's lost its impact.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? If you got TV back then, you were pretty much, that was it. Everybody saw you and everybody knew who you were. Whereas, like you say, now it's so diluted down, and because people aren't sitting watching at a specific time, it's kind of everywhere, isn't it? But it's amazing. I'm in awe of all the stuff you've done. Is fantastic. Let's talk about obviously Panto as well, because traditional Panto Dame. I was loving all that stuff there. Where did your sort of love for Panto sort of come about? Was you just kind of thrown into it, or was it a conscious decision to kind of go and do Panto?
It wasn't really. I mean, we were brought up going to see Panto. We went to see 2 most years in Glasgow and at the lovely little Gaiety Theatre. So it was, it was there. I was aware of it. When I was going through college, I thought, I've got to try and get Panto. But it was a few years before I actually got my first traditional Panto. I'd done a few Christmas shows. I did a Christmas show in the West End for David Wood, the Megan Mogg show, and various other festive things, but certainly not Trad Panto. And I was on a tour, got to Nottingham Theatre Royal. Kenneth Allen Taylor, who was then the artistic director of Nottingham Playhouse, had done one of those mock auditions we did at Drama Club. So I sent him a little note at the stage door of the play. I said, well, I don't know if you remember me, but you auditioned me at this Velvet. I'm free for Panto. This tour finishes end of August. And the next day I got a message from my agent saying, oh, Kenneth has offered you Baron Hardup in Cinderella at Nottingham Playhouse. I thought, fantastic, great. It was easier than I thought. So I spent the next 3 years doing the Panto, wonderful Pantos at Nottingham Playhouse,
Yeah.
which Kenneth he deigned in and wrote and directed. And I just, there was just so much learning to be done watching him and the whole process. So that was a real treat. And then he took over the artistic directorship of the Coliseum Theatre in Oldham. And I'd already done a few plays there. And he said, well, you can either stay at Nottingham with me, which was basically meaning I'll be Dane, you'll be something else, or you can go to Oldham and be Dane. And I thought, well, he's still a bit young, but I'll give it an airing, give it a go. And went up to Coliseum and ended up Daning there, I think, for about 10 years.
Wow.
And having a great time. And during that time, I started writing the shows as well, or co-writing. So yeah, it was again a great learning curve, a great learning process.
Yeah.
And allowing the Dane to develop over the years, finding my own little idiosyncrasies or her own little idiosyncrasies. So yeah, that's where Panto, and then it sort of grew, and I've ended up, as you know, sort of writing and directing as well as Daning. And that certainly wasn't a deliberate intention at any point. It's kind of just happened. But I'm really glad it has, and I find it a real honour to be part of this great history.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course you're passing that on as well, aren't you now? Because we had Kev Orkin on a few nights ago, and obviously he does the British Panto Academy, and you're part of that, of the training. So
yes, been doing online workshops and tutorial sessions with either one-to-one or with a group. We did a great group session this afternoon about the classic Panto routines.
Amazing.
We went through some of those. We had a little look at that one you just shown from Bristol. And it's proving really popular. And we've got another one next week, I think it is, or the 20th, whenever that is, about innuendo in Panto and how that's developed. So they're really popular, and also one-to-ones. But also we have, I've done a few lessons, started, talking about Panto people, not just professionals, amateurs who want to be better amateurs, whatever. And people then said, oh, can we do a session that maybe isn't about Panto? It's maybe just about character development or whatever. And we've done a few of those, and it's great. And all credit to Kev for setting it up. The market's there.
Yeah.
Panto, well, crikey, as well as any of us, how popular it is. It's still, thankfully, it is the one time of the year where we can still fill venues twice a day, and really bring that great storytelling, that great fun as part of people's festive holidays. And I think it needs to be valued and cherished.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's you have the same story that most people we speak to, where you go, how did you get into it? And you go, well, as a family, we used to go and see it when we were little, and that kind of tradition has always carried on, and now we see it even, a lot of theatres rely on that Panto income because it's so, it's so massive. So it's great that, that you guys are doing that, and also helping to keep that tradition alive, because it's fine to modernize things and add new things, but equally, we all know that the ghost gag works exactly the same every time, and everybody knows what the outcome is, but they're still waiting for it, and they still love it, and it still gets the same laughter every time. So it's important that it's being carried on, and and it's great that you guys are doing that. How's it been for you over the past year? Obviously, it's been a bit of a difficult one. Have you still managed to do stuff throughout that?
I have managed to predominantly been kept going with writing.
Amazing.
Thankfully, and just finishing off some writing just now for Imagine Theatre. I'd written 4 scripts for them last year, none of which materialised, of course, because of the pandemic. So I've been updating them for production this year, various venues of theirs. A few other scripts for a couple of other companies. I've written another script for a company that's actually just founded now, and that's actually for next year, for 2022. So thankfully, I've been busy with that. I mean, I got 2 weeks into a national tour of a really lovely play called By the Waters of Liverpool before we were pulled, like everyone else in the industry. It should have been a 14 or 17-week tour, but we only got 2. But that's been rescheduled for the autumn. Fingers
Great.
crossed for that. We won't pick that up and go out on the road with that again. But yeah, it's been a strange one. I did a few pre-recorded Christmas messages as Santa, or quite a few over Christmas. That was an online thing people could order. I had got a job to play Santa up at the Grotto at Centre Parks in the Lake District. And then the possibility of one of the Kudos shows materialised, the Opera House in Manchester, where I've done a few times over the years. So I thanked Centre Parks and said, "Oh, I've got to go and do Panto," and they were great. They let me go. And then, of course, even the Panto didn't happen. Literally, I was halfway driving into the theatre to start rehearsals when the announcement was made we were going to
Yeah.
but it didn't happen. So it literally turned around, went home, and had my first Christmas at home for 27 years, 28 years. But yeah, it's been a strange start.
Yeah, it has indeed. And his work starting now to come back in. Is it, obviously it's people are still very tentative about stuff, but there seems to be a bit of movement now in things. What's sort of on the horizon for you?
Yeah, well, as I say, the options there to rejoin the tour, which I would certainly much like to do. Panto, of course, at the end of the year. There's a couple of conversations that I'm having about that. Can't say too much.
Yeah, of course.
Too quick, so yes, there are things happening, thankfully, and a couple of other possibilities for next year. All theatre stuff, nothing in telly, as you know, past very late anyway. So it would be nice to do some more of that come the time. But yeah, it's just like you say, nice to see things beginning to take shape and that optimism very gradually coming back to the industry. We desperately need it, not only as performers, but I think as public as well.
Yeah.
We need to be able to get out there and enjoy feeling safe, of course. That's
absolutely.
But yeah, fingers crossed for stuff coming up.
Yeah, it's definitely happening. Okay, we're going to bring in Ruthie right now. You won't be able to see her, but you can hear her. But we're going to go to the social media chat because she's been keeping an eye on that. We're going to throw a couple of questions at you before we let you go this evening. Ruthie, are you there?
Hello, I'm right here. How are you?
I'm very good, yes.
Hi, Eric, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Ruth. For you?
Oh, good. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. Now, we've got lots going on in Social Media Corner. We've got so much love for you in the chat, Eric. We really have. I'm going to read out a couple of messages from some people. I think you might know them. So we've got Robert Wilson Baker. He said, Eric's sessions are amazing and have been great for helping the development of myself and Jamie Riding. So I think he's talking about the British Panto Academy tutoring that you do there.
Amazing.
Wonderful. And speaking of Jamie as well, he's popped in as well. So we've got Jamie Riding. He says, love you, Eric. Thank you for all your support, helping me to become the performer I am today. Love you a lot. Oh, nice, isn't it?
Thanks to both of them. It's been a real joy working with them. And they're such enthusiastic people for Panto. They love it and care deeply about it. And it's been a real pleasure working with them both. So
amazing. That's what it's about, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Passing it on. Ruthie, give us a couple of questions.
Okie dokie. So we've got David Burton. He's popped in. He says, Eric, writing or directing, which do you find the most demanding?
Writing, I think, especially if the cricket's on, because I've really got to force myself to do it. And coming up with, well, David will know this as well, he's a wonderful comic writer himself, coming up with new material year on year. If you're writing shows for the same venue year on year, which I love doing, and I'm very honoured to do, but coming up with new gags, new stuff every year that hasn't been seen or heard before, as David knows, is quite tricky. I do love it. I really do love the writing, but I think the directing I just enjoy. I enjoy sharing a creative space with great people, great team, and that's part of the joy of directing is surrounding yourself with good people and being part of that team that ultimately ends up with a great product.
Absolutely. Ruthie, back to you.
Okie dokie. We've got a question here from Beverly Charles. Hi, Beverly. So obviously you've had quite an extensive career in both TV and obviously on the stage. But Beverly would like to know, what's the highlight of your career so far? So if you had to pick one moment, which would it be?
Well, I mentioned Corrie earlier on, which was great. Certainly stage-wise, I was chuffed when I got to play Falstaff in The Merry Wives of Windsor a few years ago. There's a great festival that goes on every year at Stafford Castle, wonderful open-air Shakespeare festival, and they build huge of 1,000-seater stands, like the stands you see at the Golf Open, they cover them up and build a lovely set, the castle up in the background, which they light up as it gets dark. And I did 5 different Shakespeares there, Bottom and Toby Belch and various others. But to get to play Falstaff was something I'd always wanted to do, and it was a really great actor-musician production of Merry Wives of Windsor. So that was a real highlight.
Amazing, love it. Ruthie, we've got time for one more. Time has flown this evening. Give us one more.
One more. Okie dokie. This one's from Harry Stedman. He says, "What's your favourite panto gag or sketch, and why?"
Ah, interesting. I always like my favourite panto is Dick Whittington, because I think all panto should be an adventure story at heart, and then you hang everything else on it, comedy. So Dick Whittington, and a really well executed mop routine on the deck of the Good Ship Lollipop.
Absolutely.
Got to be pacey, got to be driven, got to be clear and credible, but yeah, really good fun. When it's well done, it can be an absolute showstopper.
Amazing. My friend, we've run out of time this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Wishing you all the success for the future. And I hope we can meet up at some point after all this. It'd be great to chat in person. But in the meantime, Eric Potts, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Ruth. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the wonderful Wizard of Oz. It's showtime!
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, available to rent from this Easter Sunday, live at www.stagetostream.tv. It's out now.
Yes, indeed. You're watching StageStream.tv live here from the Neverland Theatre for our final show of Season 1. 49 episodes in total. That's more than many things. But we hope you've enjoyed it. It's been an absolute pleasure entertaining you over the past few months. We will be back in a few weeks' time with Season 2. Very exciting indeed. New stuff happening in Season 2. We're going to do different things to keep everyone amused and keep you amused out there, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Ruthie, it's been a good show tonight. Oh, and thanks to Eric Potts as well. He was wonderful. What a wonderful guest. Thank you.
What a lovely man.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like people like that. It's good. We've had great guests.
They've all been lovely, haven't they?
Yeah, we've had really good guests the entire time. And the great thing about this is, as we've said, you know, it does give you an opportunity to speak to people that you never would have the time, you know, on both sides. You know, everyone's always doing different things and we've always got the next project on. And this has actually given us an opportunity to speak to people in the industry and meet new people that we never would have had the chance to before. So it's exciting. It's been good. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's just nice how, like we were saying, with the advancement of technology, well, I'm going to call it an advancement. Why not? I mean, it's a silver lining to the murky cloud of COVID, isn't it? That everyone's gone online, which allows you to meet more people and have more accessible things to do and watch. How exciting. I mean, what else would you be doing if we hadn't launched this off the back of COVID?
It's been an absolute pleasure, hasn't it?
It's been good.
So yeah, there's lots of love in the chat. Steve Andrews, lots of love, and thanks for the bants. Love from me and Ruby Dench.
Ruby Dench, that's amazing.
What are you going to do now with now you're cooking your tea? If you've not got this, well, you can just, like Ruth said earlier, you can re-watch it because there are 49 episodes out there. You can go back to how it all started, very calmly in the beginning. It was very professional in the beginning. And, you know, it ended up in the right place, which is what we always wanted. Entertaining you and, you know, having a bit of top banter.
I tell you what, we've got 2 minutes, Gary.
Yeah,
or maybe just slightly less. Quickly, write in the chat. What's been your favourite moment from Season 1?
Good point.
Quickly, put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Do the chat. Beverly Charles, Park Lot Social, yay! Better polish off my glittery shoes, definitely.
Yes, it's happening. That goes out on Monday this week. It's Monday to Saturday for the first one, I believe, but possibly more, I don't know, for the first bit of the England tour, and then we're in Scotland the month after. Yeah. So it's very exciting if you wanted to go and do that. Also, I will just say as well, we've been doing some exciting stuff with Yorkshire Wildlife Park. You will have seen on social media that the Hive is opening in Yorkshire, at Yorkshire Wildlife Park. On the front of it, there's a new entrance, there's new shops, there's new restaurants, there's new play areas. It's incredible and it's massive, and you can literally have a day out there without even going into the park, and the park's on top of that. So you know, you can go there and have an amazing day, and we're all excited to be part of that, and that is going to be opening next month as well, parts of that. So, and of course Yorkshire reopens this week as next week as well, so very exciting. But that is going to be a big part of what we do in the future as well, along with other bits.
Lots and lots happening.
Ruthie, do you want to leave them with anything before you go?
We've got to pop in the chat.
Oh,
we've got to have a quick look at the favourite moments.
Go for it.
Aaron Kelly said, read stories. Thanks, Aaron. Harry Stedman says, seeing Santa. Jan Unsworth says, oh no, there's too many. Harry Stedman, but I quite like the Professor too. Aaron Kelly, just remember to take the shoes out of the van this... Yes. They were never in the van, Aaron. We still never got to the bottom of that mystery. We'll have to keep that story for Season 2. There's no time. Beverly Charles says the laughter and Ruth's stories. Oh, thanks.
There you go. See?
Beverly Charles, Aaron Kelly, what's with performers and lost shoes? Yeah. We'll keep that story. You'll have to remind me at the beginning of Season 2. Yeah. And Leanne Unsworth has popped in with wet trumpet, steel drum stories, the top bants with a Z. That's funky. And the facts.
Yeah, because
steel drums are my favourite drum.
They are.
But thank you to all of you for joining in and hopping in and having a chat, because that's nice.
It's been a pleasure, hasn't it? It's time to go, unfortunately. End of Season 1. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Say goodnight, Ruthie, for the final time of Season 1.
Okay. Do you want a fact first?
Quickly then.
Okay, really quick. Now this is more philosophical.
Philosophical.
Wow.
When you're relying on me for stuff, there's real problems.
Philosophical. That's it.
Yeah, go
It's
on.
that in order to fall asleep, you must first pretend to be asleep.
It's Ruth's fun fact of the day.
Say goodnight, Ruthie.
Good night, Ruthie.
Tell us about it, Ruthie.
Tell us about it, Ruthie. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Yes, thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting us. Do share the page, of course, and let's get more people on board. We need to hit more people. Not literally, that would be horrendous. Good. So do join us for season 2. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. It's not far away. And like I say, if you want to, sort of relive some of the old episodes, they're out there. They're on the Facebook page, stagestream.tv. You can see them all, or you can get on YouTube as well, and they're on there. So that's wonderful. Thanks for all your support. It's been an absolute pleasure. Until we can get back in the theatre once again, which won't be long, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Good night.